Hey folks, check this out. Alright, I don't mean this to boast. Actually, I mean to, complain. Because 2 days ago, it just promoted me to VO2MAX of 58. And that was after I did this fantastic impromptu fartlek session with my daughters as I took them over in the neighborhood while they're on their rollerblades and kick scooter. So I did a fantastic fartlek session. The average splits were fantastic. But today it downrated me to 57. So some of you probably experienced this as well. You have a Garmin and then you had this amazing VO2MAX and suddenly you got downrated by 1 or 2. So this is not the first time it's happened to me. Actually, this is the second time. So I've actually got to 58 before. And then I regressed back to 56, then climbed back to 57. And it's been a while since getting back to 58. But at this point of time, I don't care because actually I didn't make this video to say that I don't care. But for those of you who are living in the tropics like Asia, like now it's like a heat spell, and then nearby there was like some burning as well. So the air quality wasn't all that fantastic, and it's humid as you can see. Even though I'm indoors now, I'm at home. I'm still like sweating buckets, actually wiping myself off at the same time. Just finished a run basically. So look at your RPE, like what is your rate of perceived exertion for the same pace? Or if you just let yourself run naturally, what is the pace that you're getting now? And is that better than say 3 months or 6 months ago? And for me, it is. So as a matter of fact, today I did I took my dog for the evening run, and honestly, I want to make a confession because for the longest time, I have been using a kick scooter, right? So what happens is that it's actually not just run, walk, it's scooter, run, walk. So in the beginning, I'll let him pull me along, and then at some point I would just hold the scooter with one hand and the leash with the other and basically just run, right? But now, as of late last week, I've been doing the whole runs without kick scooter, so just me taking the dog out the whole time. So the pace, not that great because sometimes he's willing to run fast, sometimes he's not. But today he was a bit more cooperative. I think the recent time when I went to Singapore for High Rocks, it also made a difference because during the time, it's just the maid taking him for walks and he wasn't able to perhaps go out at a good pace. So I think that suffered a little bit. So anyways, today I was doing in barefoot shoes, with him about 6:15, right? So, right? And then after I dropped him at home, I went out to continue running again. I did another 2.4 kilometers in addition. So all in all, in this evening run, the evening runs with the dog typically is like 2.13, right? But because I did the extra loop, so it came up to about 4.6, 4.7, and that's pretty decent. And there were parts of it. I was looking at my heart rate monitor. When it's keeping within zone 3. For Garmin, like a lot of you, if you're a runner and if you can get to a reasonable speed at zone 2, good for you, but I can't. So I just like to refer to it as LT1. LT1 for me is like the the zone 2 plus the zone 3. So for me, the cutoff for that is a 148. So 148 beats per minute is how high I want it to go to. If I go to 149, I need to dial back down my speed. And I noticed from running on the treadmill, sometimes even a 0.1, 0.2 kilometer per hour increment can make the difference between being in a between LT1 and the one above it. So the threshold zone. So you want to sometimes just go a tad bit slower. If say you're on this particular day, given the current weather conditions, given the current humidity, the current temperature, you are, let's say, running 6:15 and you're pushing 149. So we're going to dial back our pace down to 6:25. Having said that, keeping your arm swings and everything like efficient and stuff. About these shoulders, some people ask me like, what do I specifically do anything for my shoulders? No, actually, my shoulders have been increasing in size, as some of you have correctly noticed, and that is the result of me simply like driving back harder. And it's embarrassing because in the very beginning I didn't have the physical resources to do this, but now it's becoming quite natural. So thank you for listening to my rant. I hope you found a few good tips in there.